Hello, welcome back to my channel. I feel like it has been a minute since I have filmed a video. In fact, it has been a hot minute, so hello, I've missed you. I've come today to do a Latinx History Month recommendations video, as I'm sure you know. This video has three sections. First is recommendations for books that I have read and I can recommend like fully that I loved them. Second one is my current TBR and books that I have on my shelves, so I have bought them, I have put my money where my mouth is. And then the third is books that I have my eye on, if that makes sense. I haven't bought them yet, but I know that they exist and I'm waiting to see if I want to buy them or ask for them later for my birthday, for Christmas, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first one I want to talk about is A Planet for Rent by Yoss, who is a Cuban science fiction writer. This is a reimagining of Cuba under communist rule, but instead it's reimagined as if Earth is under alien rule, if that makes sense. And each chapter is a different vignette of how people would deal with that. Some people try to negotiate with the invaders, some people try to make deals with them, some people work with them, some people try to go underground and hide away from them, some people rebel against them, some people are trying to get off planet and get away from them. It's just so many different stories, some of which you come back to and some of which you only see once. So I just really loved this. So I highly recommend this if you like translated literature or sci-fi. This was really great. Next up, I have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz. So this one you might not know that I have on my shelf because I read it so many years ago. I think I read it in Japan, so I moved it from Japan to here. However, Benjamin Alire Saenz was the first Latino to win the PEN/Faulkner Literary Award. So not only did he win like all the awards here, but also this story is absolutely beautiful. It's following two young men, one named Dante, one named Aristotle, and they're kind of very different at first, and then as they spend more time together, they develop this absolutely beautiful friendship and then something more, and it was just a stunning, stunning YA novel. Next up is a Peruvian translation. This is In Praise of the Stepmother by Vargas Llosa. This is not a recommendation for everyone. This is a dark, creepy, what the F am I reading little book. So this is definitely not for everyday consumption, but if you have similar reading taste to me, where you like dark, creepy, kind of weird children, this would be for you. So we're following a family that is a father, a son, and a stepmother. And things start to get weird between the stepmother and the son. And as it progresses, the elements within the story are also tied to classic artwork. And it is just so weird, so fascinating. And you finish it and you're kind of like, I think that was icky, but also very, very clever. So this is one to check out if you think that you would like that kind of thing, but I do put a lot of disclaimers on it that this is not for everyone. Definitely not. Next up is a recommendation from Chile. This is 20 Love Poems and a Song of Despair by Pablo Neruda. So I had been introduced to the poetry of Neruda by my husband. So this is just a short little collection of poems, and I really enjoy his writing style. I really do like his poetry. I am a super picky poetry lover. There are very specific things that I like, and it just so happens that Neruda is one of the poets that I really highly regard. So if you like poetry and you don't already or haven't read any Pablo Neruda, highly recommend. Next up is from Argentina, and I read it for the Spooky Smart Bitch Readathon, which happened last month. This is Little Eyes by Samanta Schweblin. So this is a world where there are Kentuckys, which are little picture Furbies with cameras in the eyes and wheels, and you can choose to either be watched by them or watch other people with them, and it's following different people throughout the story. I just found the idea fascinating. Her imagination is absolutely excellent. I will be reading more from Samantha Schweblin for sure. Next up is a very short novella from Mexico. This is Down the Rabbit Hole by Juan Pablo Villalobos. This one I used to own, but I think I lost it in a move, so I was trying to look for it, but I think I really truly lost it. So this follows a young son of a drug cartel leader in Mexico, and instead of seeing all the violence and all the bloodshed that's going on, you're viewing everything through the young son's eyes, where he's really into like playing games and samurai swords, and he wants more than anything a pygmy hippopotamus. So his father goes to great lengths to get his son this hippopotamus for his birthday. Next up, I'm going to recommend two Adam Silveras. He is Puerto Rican American, I believe. And my favorite one from him is They Both Die at the End. And this is not a super happy book. So if you're not in a good place right now, just don't read this book. Like the title kind of says it. And this is following a world where there is an app that now can determine 24 hours before you're going to die, and you can meet up with other people who are also going to die soon as well to live out your final hours together. And we're following two young men who find out they're going to die, and then they spend that time together. And I just cried my eyes out. Like, I had no more tears left to give after this. The other one by Silvera that I really enjoyed was More Happy Than Not, which is following a young man who lives in a world where there is a drug that can erase your memories. And it, again, very similar to this, is very hard hitting. That one deals with topics of suicide and depression and just really, really heavy hitting things. This one is kind of more of a romance, whereas the other one is more of a thought experiment and like kind of mental health exploration. So they're happy, but they're so sad. So if you can handle that, go for it. If not, avoid them. Next up, I want to talk about Aura by Carlos Fuentes from Mexico. This one is following a young man who is working at a widow's house to help her go through her dead husband's things. Definitely, this didn't go where I thought it was gonna go. It's also very short, so I'm not gonna say much else, but if you're looking for something that's short and a little bit creepy, then I highly recommend this one. And the last one I'm gonna recommend that has been read is Super Extra Grande by Yoss. So if you remember, I recommended A Planet for Rent by Yoss, which I really enjoyed. However, I DNF'd this one. I could not make it through, but because so much of it I couldn't really understand because there's a lot of Spanish in here, and I really wanted to enjoy it because I loved this one. And also this one deals with a xenobiologist, is that right? Where he deals with huge like space beings that are really big, and he's like a vet. And I was like, that sounds right up my alley, but I just couldn't get into it. Like I really, really couldn't get into it. So I called in my husband who speaks Spanish and Japanese, and he read this and he said it was so funny. And I wish I could be in on it, but I can't because I don't speak Spanish. So if you have more of a grasp on Spanish, then I would recommend this based off of my husband's recommendation. Okay, now we are to the second part, which is my TBR that I currently have. So as you guys know, for this month, I am doing the Monsterathon and fitting Latinx books into the Monsterathon. So I am currently reading 77 by Guillermo Saccomanno, who is from Argentina. This one is about a year in the life, from 1997, a year in the life of a gay literature professor at a university during the time of complete chaos and government upheaval and people going missing in Argentina. And so far, I'm finding, honestly, it really hard to get through. I'm about halfway because it's really heavy on politics and politicians, and the parts where it's about the main character, I read through really fast, but then the parts that are more about the political history, I'm a little bit harder to get through. Historical fiction isn't really my jam, so I will make it through. I will, but it's just taking me a bit of a time. I also have The Transmigration of Bodies by Yuri Herrera, who is a Mexican writer. This one is following two drug cartels in Mexico as they are having this outright battle in the streets, and they are piling bodies on either side. And I believe over the nighttime, they need to meet up peacefully and exchange the bodies back. So, sounds gruesome, it's very short, translated, it's ticking all of my boxes. And then another one that I'm super keen to get to is A Legend of the Future by Agustin de Rojas, who is a Cuban science fiction writer as well, same as Yoss. And this one is following a crew on a spaceship as they are going to one of Saturn's moons or rings and back. And I started reading this one, and then I kind of got scared a bit because I think something is happening. I don't want to spoil what's happening, but something's happening, and I'm like, oh no, like curses, because it's like a story within a story within a story. If that makes sense, like it's enveloped in each other, which can be a bit confusing to read because it's all told in a lot of dialogue. So it's just a lot of dialogue, and I'm just nervous, okay? I'm just nervous. So I hope that I finish this one this month, but I'm nervous. Another one that I have for my TBR this month is The Bad Girl by Vargas Llosa. And this one is interesting. It's about a man who falls in love with a woman, but I'm not sure if she's a spy or a shapeshifter or what's happening. But he sees her all around the world at different times in his life, and she takes different identities. And I'm intrigued. I'm very curious. I'm not a huge fan of the title, but I'm intrigued because he wrote In Praise of the Stepmother, which I just showed you. So I know things are going to be weird, and that he's also a great writer. So I'm very interested in this one. And the last one for my TBR that I have told you guys about is When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore, who is a non-binary Latin American writer. I haven't had great luck with their books before, so this one I'm also really nervous about. However, it has magical realism and a boy who hangs the moon and a girl who has flowers growing out of her wrist, and it also has a queer love story. So ticking all my boxes, but I'm just really nervous about it. So also on my TBR are 4 books that I didn't put in my TBR this month, and they are 2 physicals and 2 Kindles. So let's do the physicals. So this is The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Juanita Petrus. She is of Black Caribbean descent, and this story is following a young girl from Trinidad, and when her parents discover her with her girlfriend, they send her to America as punishment. Except it doesn't really work out because she kind of immediately sees another girl that she forms a deep friendship with, and then a relationship. And I just think this sounds absolutely fabulous, and I cannot wait to read it. The other physical one I have on my shelves right now is Vargas Llosa's The Dream of the Celt. So overall, this is just a really weird combination of things, okay? So this is written by Vargas Llosa, who is from Peru, about an Irish nationalist named Roger Casement, who was hanged by the British government. So it says that Casement dared to draw a parallel between the injustices he witnessed in Africa and the American colonies and those committed by the British in Northern Ireland. He was subsequently imprisoned and executed, and then obviously Vargas Llosa decided to write a nonfiction about that, which actually won the Nobel Prize in Literature. That's this book. So I bought this so long ago with every intention to read it, and I just haven't because it just seems like a really dense nonfiction book. But I intend to at some point. The first Kindle book I want to talk about is Lobizona by Romina Garber, who is Argentinian American. And we are also following a main character who is Argentinian American, but she is an illegal immigrant in America. And when she finds out that she might be a lobizona, which I think is a werewolf, and it deals with illegal immigration and the ICE system, as well as folklore. So I was like, yes, and then also the cover is gorgeous. And the last one I have is How I Became a Nun by Silvera, who is from Argentina. This one I've had for so long, I should just read it. Basically, I'm just going to read you the blurb, which is a sinisterly funny modern day through the looking glass that begins with cyanide poisoning and ends in strawberry ice cream. I bought it purely off of that blurb. That's why I bought it. I know nothing other than that, but it just sounded really good. So that finishes up the books that I have like on my Kindle or on my physical shelves. And now I just have 4 more to tell you about that I have had my eye on, and if you've read them, let me know if I should buy them or what is going on. So first, The Best of Spanish Steampunk by James Womack and Marion Womack, who are the editors. This is a collection of Spanish and Latin American voices writing steampunk. Do I need to say more? No, I don't. I don't need to. I love steampunk. It's kind of just something that I think is so freaking cool. The next one I want to mention is The Blue Line by Ingrid Betancourt, who is a Colombian writer. So we are following Julia, who inherits her grandmother's gifts, which is to see visions, terrible visions, which appear of people dying or meeting like grisly deaths, and she has to set about and save them from that. Otherwise, she will lose her gift. I think it sounds really great. The cover is also stunning. I really am thinking to get this if I do a haul or maybe on my Christmas wish list. Next up, I have The Story of My Teeth by Valeria Luiselli, who is a Mexican writer. This one just sounds really weird and I'm like so into it. So the blurb says, I was born in Pachuca, the beautiful windy city, with 4 premature teeth and my body completely covered in a very fine coat of fuzz. But I'm grateful for that inauspicious start because ugliness, as my other uncle was given to saying, is character forming. So I don't even know. It talks about teeth, but then also about literary influences, and it's set in Mexico City. I don't know. It sounds really good. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that one. And the last one is Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin. This one has the horse energy cover, which I've talked about. It's about a woman who's in a hospital. She wakes up and there is a little boy next to her, but it's not her son, and she's not his mother. And yeah, it just has creepy vibes, and I want to know why there's a horse on the cover. Like, I just really want to know. And I know that my library has this, but libraries have been closed for months and months. So I keep putting off buying because if they open again, there's no need to buy, but it's a struggle because I want to read it. So yeah, that finishes my Latinx recommendations video. Please leave me any recommendations you have down below. If you've made it this far, leave a horse emoji for the cover of Fever Dream, and I will send you lots of love. I will check in with another video soon. Bye!